Hate when that happens. Welcome to Podnutz episode number 65. The show about computer repair, where we have a computer repair roundtable, you could say. We have a couple of guests on, or 3, or 4, or unlimited. And we all, come and we usually own our own computer repair business or have a shop or a mobile tech. But we are computer repair centric, and we share tips and tricks, ideas, business tips, what we're doing, what's working, what's not working, hopefully to make you guys better techs as well. So thanks for joining us. And then let me introduce the guests for today. First off, we have Matt Rainey. You might know him from Podnutz Pro, but his website is ah-computers.com. What's up, Matt?
Hey, Steve. Hello, everybody.
What's going on with you tonight?
Oh, typical Tuesday night. Busy so far. Looking forward to a busy week the rest of the week, too.
It sounds like you have nice intentions there.
It's busy no matter if I want it to be or not, so.
Cool. Also joining us for the first time, John Barnett from AvalancheComputers.com joined us. I said John is clutch tonight because he joined us at very short notice, and we're terribly appreciative to have him on. What's up, John?
Hey, it's great to be on. How you guys doing?
Doing awesome.
Great.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. You know what, John and a couple other guys were in the Podnutz TeamSpeak. If you guys haven't gone in the TeamSpeak room for Podnutz, it's the place to be now. I mean, there's techs in there all the time. You could go in there. You could join in a good computer repair conversation, ask questions, give information. It's like a nice give and take in there. It's all done with your voice. It's not like an IM typing room. It's actual chatting with voice, and it's fun. It seems to be really working out, and it seems to be helping a lot of people. So I'm happy that that's gaining such momentum and popularity, and hopefully, that will continue to happen, and you guys will get some good information.
Yeah, don't underestimate the power of that TeamSpeak room. That is a great resource, man. If you have a run into a technical problem, there are a lot of really smart people in there who are willing to help you out. It's a great place to get some information if you need it.
I agree. And what's also cool about the TeamSpeak room is everybody who has a shop or wants to broadcast something on a webcam has their link, and they sometimes have a live feed to their shop. So if you're in there and, like, say Timster's in there and you say, Timster, how do you fix a power jack on a laptop? And he might actually even just pull one out and show you right on the spot. So it's like instantaneous with video, live support. Or if you feel like you want to give, you go in there and you show your stuff too. So it's really cool. It's a really, I know it came out of nowhere for me. I didn't know it was what was going on, and then all of a sudden you guys are like, this is awesome, and we'll keep it going. I love it. One quick announcement here. Matt, who is on the call with us tonight, he's going to be jumping in and doing hosting Podnutz probably the next few shows or so. You guys may have been noticing a bit of a change going on here where I'm not hosting some of the shows. Fact of the matter is I need a little break. And these guys are Matt and Lalo and Daughter Geek and Doc and Timster are jumping in and hosting shows and keeping Podnutz going, giving me a chance to step back and wear like the Podnutz CEO hat and try to get some other facets of Podnutz going as far as promotion, sponsors, video feeds up, and actually in a nice RSS, not just posted on YouTube. So I'm going to be working on merchandise. I'm going to be working on that kind of stuff. Take a step back, take a breath, and then see how things go after that. These guys who are hosting the shows might be so good that you won't want me to come back. So that's what's going on now. If you guys have been noticing some changes, and so I hope you enjoy what these guys have to offer. If you have any feedback regarding anything that's going on, I'm always open to feedback. I want to know what you guys are thinking. Send it to me at mail@podnutz.com. Okay, enough of that. Unless you wanted to say something, Matt.
Yeah, one more thing about that. Tonight, like John is with us tonight. John jumped in the last second to have some more people on the show. I know Steve gets a lot of good feedback from this show. Everybody likes it, but people have to also sign up for the show for it to be a show.
In their defense, there is no sign-up sheet for this show yet.
Right. Well, that we're gonna remedy though.
Yeah. Tell us what we're gonna do for that, Matt.
So we're gonna have there's going to be an announcement in the Podnutz forum about this. And what we want to do is we want to have a database of guests who are willing to come on this show So we have a pool of guests. Now, what we'd like to do is, except for special occasions or exceptions by Steve or me, we want you to have at least one Podnutz Daily under your belt. So when you after you go on Podnutz Daily,
You are now
get your feet
eligible.
wet. Yeah, get your feet wet, get used to it. You're comfortable with it. You know you love being on because everybody does after the first time. Then we'll probably contact you, send you an email, or you can email us saying that you want to be on. You may get an email from me asking if you want to be put in the pool of guests. We're going to try and book these guests in advance. We're not going to, since there was invite only, the invitations may have been late. We're gonna change that. So we're gonna plan these guests out to try and keep this show on a normal schedule, because if there's no guest, there's no show. And I think it's been a few weeks since we had this show, huh, Steve?
Yeah, but I have to take the blame. It was invite only, and I didn't invite anybody.
Right. Yeah. Well, and that goes back to you're too busy.
Yeah.
So you're doing too many things at once. So we're gonna change the way it's gonna be. Invite only still, only we want to have a pool to be able to invite from, meaning you've said you want to be on the show, so then you'll be invited, yes or no. We're going to plan these out in advance, so Steve's not having to stress at the last minute to try and fill guests for the show. We're going to try and do that in advance. So
yeah, and it should be, I mean, yeah, Matt's going to be kind of spearheading that. If you contact him at matt@podnutz.com if you want to be on the show, or if you have any feedback on that for him. And that's what he said is what we're going to do. If you've done a Podnutz Daily, then you are, quote, eligible. And if you want to be on the show, then Matt will be working on doing stuff like that. So
right, it won't be a sign up like for Podnutz Daily.
Right.
It'll be just a posting outlining what we've said, and if you want to be put in the pool of guests. And what that means is, if you say you want to be a guest, the same criteria as Podnutz Daily, microphone, all that stuff. And the show is going to be hopefully starting around 10 Eastern, maybe a little bit late, depending on the show before it. But we're not going to start as late as we've normally been starting. We'll try and start it earlier.
Yeah, Matt and Dora are going to have a fight. No, see, Linux for the rest of us is the show before this, and it goes a little long sometimes. So.
Yeah.
No, go ahead, dude.
Yeah. So when you say you want to be put in this, I understand it can't be available every Tuesday, but that's why we want a pool of guests. But when you say I want to be on the show, part of that criteria is you need to be available on Tuesdays starting at 10 Eastern. Right.
Cool.
So that way we don't have a pool of guests where when I try and contact them and say, well, that time's not good for me. So let's get it out the way. We know what time it's going to be. You're going to be contacted around 10 Eastern for the show, and that's the time. So
somebody is going to come to your door with a special envelope if you were chosen. And if you have a golden ticket inside, then you're on the show. No. All right. Anything else on that, Matt, before we continue?
No, that's good.
Yeah. Props to Matt for doing this. He's really taking the reins on this, and I appreciate it. Our next guest may or may not show up tonight, and he's on a job. He got a little held up, but again, we didn't give him much notice either. But we'd be happy to have him on if he gets himself freed up. We will know probably sometime in the middle of the show. Terry from Computer Pro. He's computerpro1.com. He's the one with the awesome shop with all the nice green and blue coordinated colors. He even has his rags in the shop are even coordinated with everything else. It's amazing. It's sick. I want that shop. Okay. Let's get into the goods here. We talk about computer repair. And Matt, start us off. What do you want to bring to us today?
My first thing is just a short story. I know how everybody loves
story by Matt Rain.
Yes. I don't have it. Well, there's no birds singing or music. Micro Center. I've heard y'all talk about Micro Center. I was looking, I had a server, home automation server, that the customer thought the fans were noisy. First, they weren't noisy, but he thought they were. So you can't argue with somebody's interpretation or their opinion. So he said, I want you to change the fans. Okay, we'll change the fans. These fans are hard to find. There was a specialty 1U server meant to be mounted under a desk or this entertainment center so you wouldn't see it for home automation. So I'm trying to find these fans, the specific fans, and I do a search for it, and it comes up. The first one I find, microcenteronline.com. I thought, wait, that sounds good. I've heard good things about Micro Center. I'm going to order those 2 fans. I get the fans in, and the order process was fine. The fans come in, plug in the first fan, doesn't spin. I thought, well, that's just great. Plug in the second fan, doesn't spin. Put the old fans back in, they spin fine. And, it's a one-use server, so I just got the top off of it, and I'm just turning off the server, plugging in the lead, and nothing spins.
Were they stuck? I mean, when it was there,
No, I was, I could spin it with a pen or my finger, cleaned it out, checked, it just would not spin. The fans were not powering. So I thought, well, that's a little annoying.
They were the correct fans, right?
Oh, yeah, they were the right fans.
Okay.
Same exact size, same, the whatever the amperage on the other fan matched this one, same exact fan. So I thought, well, I've got to return these fans. Called Micro Center to get a return, and he says, well, let me get you over to technical support. I said, well, I don't need technical support. I need returns. Well, we have to send in technical support to make sure it's actually not a technical issue.
Your fault, meaning.
Right. I said, well, they're just fans. I just plugged them in. They don't spin. I understand, but we had to get you to technical support. Oh, so I had to spend 10 or 15 minutes on the phone with technical support. And I said, how do you want to troubleshoot this? He says, well, let's go ahead and shut the server down. Done. Plug in these. Done. Did they spin? No. What do you want to try next? He says, well, I guess that's all we need to try. But he put me on hold, and he was talking to this person and this person. The whole thing took like 15 minutes for technical support.
Right.
He says, well, I'll transfer you back to the customer service now so we can get these returned. I go back to another girl at customer service, and she says, and I explained to her what happened. They just transfer. I just talked to technical support. They transfer me back to you. Okay, please hold. I'm holding. She comes back on. She goes, let me transfer you to technical support first. I said, okay, did you read the notes or did you hear what I said? I just talked to them. Are you sure? Yes, I'm fairly sure I just talked to technical support. This whole fiasco took like an hour to return 2 $5 fans. I'm never buying from Micro Center online again.
Okay. Short story by Matt Rainey. Now,
I threw those fans away and bought them from someplace else.
I did. I had to go buy them from somewhere else. And the other fans I bought from somewhere else worked fine. Now, they were more expensive. It wasn't the same brand, same amp, same all that stuff, and they spun up fine.
All right, here's the thing. Micro Center is a great place. Super awesome if you have a store near you. I probably should have prefaced this each time. I don't think I ever bought anything from Micro Center online. It's a really cool place if you're near a retail location, because it means you don't have to buy stuff online, because anything you want to buy, like at Newegg or anything, is in the store. That was the coolest thing about Micro Center. Honestly, I wasn't too crazy about the service I got there from the employees almost any day of the week, but they had the items, and that was the fun, cool part. And they had all the stuff. You could go in there and just build a machine from scratch and just buy the coolest stuff. So yeah, I guess online is not, bag of what is it? Bag.
I can't. Yeah, I can't spend that much time trying to get a return for a part.
Yeah, I guess I need to work on that.
I was all wasted time. I can't bill anybody for that.
Right.
And I'm not even making that much money changing these fans for this customer, and I wasted an hour returning parts. So it may be a fine store. I definitely just could have gotten 2 bad fans, but if I have to do that kind of customer service, it's not worth my time to try and buy from them again in case I have to return something. I
agree. It's good to know that they're online is not good. But the allure of Micro Center is going in there in person. John, what have you been to a Micro Center?
I've never been to a Micro Center store, but based on what I've heard similar. It's a great store if you're going to go there.
Right.
But their online store is a little iffy.
It's weak. Cool. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate your
Yeah,
customer
that
service
was.
stories.
I had to get that one out because that really annoyed me.
Okay. All right, John, let's go over to you. What do you want to talk about?
All right. I'll talk about a website called Gilware. Umpire Computers turned me on to this company. I have a real estate office that I'm doing some work for, and they don't want to spend the money that's going to require for a backup server.
Okay.
So one of the options that was available, thanks to Umpire, is this company called Gilware. Basically, they resell data backup service to technicians, and they allow you to resell it at whatever price you want. They basically charge you 25 cents a gigabyte, and you can resell that however you want. We have a couple different pricing structures we use. We have one that is $6.95. That allows the computer to access the software, and then we charge $1 a gigabyte to back up. And we have a couple other plans that are like $9.99, and you get 20 gigabyte of data to back up. But the cool thing is you can manage this all from a web interface. You just you basically manage your customers, you assign licenses, and Gilware charges $250, and they will brand the backup to your company. So it appears as though the backup solution is coming from whatever company you own, which is kind of a cool option.
Now it's backup. Okay, it's data recovery or backup or both.
It is both. They provide.
Okay.
They started out as a data recovery company,
Right.
and then they migrated out to a remote data backup, which is what they're doing now. And they do data recovery for big companies like Dell, Western Digital, so they're pretty well known.
Okay, and they charge 25 cents per gig, and so you're taking it you charge $6.95 for the app to your customer,
Right.
plus $1 per every gigabyte.
Correct.
And so they run the app on their computer. You mean like Carbonite type of thing?
Yeah, it's pretty much like Carbonite.
And so they install it, and then they do automatic backups. You're pretty much hands off at that point, right?
Yeah, for our company, we actually go out. We sell it as like a managed backup solution, or we basically will support anything that goes wrong with the backup. You know, we go out, we install it. We install remote access applications through a TeamViewer, which if they have a problem or they need a file restored, we can log onto their PC and restore it that way. So that's kind of how we sell it.
I see. That's cool. How's the interface look? Is it nice?
Yeah, the interface is pretty nice. It's a little plain, but it's very easy to use.
Right.
It's kind of cool. I mean, basically, if you want a file backed up, you right-click on it, and you select backup, and it automatically adds it to the backup queue.
Neat. How long have you been using them?
We just signed up with them today, and we've just been going through the material, and it's pretty interesting. It looks like a pretty cool app.
Is there like a sign-up fee?
No, it's basically you become a partner, and then you just start reselling the product.
And last question, and I'll let Matt grill you too. So how do you plan on like selling this?
How do we plan on selling it?
Yeah.
Well, whenever we go out to, I've been in this business a long time, and I'm still always astonished at the amount of businesses who don't even pay any attention to backup. It's
Right.
like you go out there and you tell them, what would you do if tomorrow you came in and, lightning struck your building and all your data was gone? I've had a couple people say, well, we'd pretty much be out of business. And I'm like, well, do you back up any of your data? No, we don't. Or they don't even know what a backup is or what they're supposed to do
Right.
to get a backup. I'm still really surprised nowadays that this happens, but it does very frequently. So when we go on site with these businesses, we basically provide them with several options. This is something that we broach every time we go on site with a customer. That's one of the first questions we ask is, do you have a backup? And if their answer is no, or we don't know, then we check. And then we explain to them how dangerous it is to be operating without a backup. And that's basically how we sell this. We just inform the customer, that this is something that needs to be done, especially if you're doing it in a business.
Now, have you sold any other backup solutions like Carbonite or anything like that?
We don't sell carbonite, and we don't really do remote backups that often.
Gotcha.
We usually try to encourage
On-site.
some other on-site backup, like
Nice.
StorageCraft or something like that.
This is pretty neat. You know, when I had my shop, I was approached by a company who wanted to get me to do something like this, but they wanted actually, I think they wanted to sell me hardware to have it. My store would actually be the hub of the backup, not someplace remote, and it was just way too expensive. Matt, what do you think about a solution like this?
I like these kind of solutions. I like almost any managed solution where the client doesn't have to worry about it and they just keep paying the bill for the managed service, basically. I'm looking at this, John. So on this type of backup, in this particular one, is there any kind of local appliance or device that's put in, or it's all goes across the internet?
No, there is no local appliance. It all goes across the internet.
I like that, actually.
And when you install it, you have two options. One of the options is you can create a local backup store on the PC, which makes restoring files a lot faster. Or you can just opt out of that option and everything would go across the internet.
So you could have some other kind of local storage and put a copy there and push it up to the internet. You can
Correct.
do both, right?
You can do both, correct.
Now, since it's a managed service, when they want to restore something, they call you, or do you show them, are there tools that you want the customer able to restore from?
There are tools right on the customer's desktop that allows them to restore the files directly. Or, like I was saying, we install TeamViewer on their machine, and if they need to, we can log in and show them how to restore the files if they're not sure how to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And this particular client, they have a server, or is it just a peer-to-peer setup, or?
Right now, they have a peer-to-peer setup, and we're hoping to migrate them to a server pretty soon. We're in talks with them now to get them to go to small business server.
So if you went with small business server, do you know the backup capabilities as far as Exchange and system, state, and that kind of stuff? Did you get that far with this software yet?
I have not got that far. Like I said, we typically use some other option when there's a server involved, like Shadow Protect or something like that. Shadow Protect is kind of what we use most of the time for that.
Now, one of the criteria for this client was they didn't want to spend a lot of money on backup, right?
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
as always, they never want to spend a lot of money on anything.
Right.
Of course not.
So when you sell a server, do you just bundle in the backup in the server quote, right? So it's just part of it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because if you put it separate as an option, they're gonna choose. We don't need that portion of the quote. We'll just go with the
it's funny
the
how
server.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, we just say it's part of the server. That's
Exactly.
the way to go.
It's pretty cool. Let us know how it goes with this, John. Curious.
All right, yeah. I'll keep you guys informed.
Yeah.
Now, there's one more thing I wanted to talk about. Are we? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut this off earlier. First, talking.
No. Go for it. Oh no. You wanted to talk about this or something else?
Something else.
Okay. You were just
way,
gonna skip over me then.
Oh, I'm sorry, Steve.
I was
I was not going to skip over you. What I meant was.
Go ahead.
What you got to talk about, Steve? Because after you want to talk, don't forget to have something I want to talk about too. That's what I meant to say.
That's what I thought you meant, Matt.
Oh, good.
Now I'll mention something quick because you guys know I'm not quite in the business anymore. But I do have a laptop here that I fixed the other day. I'll talk about that. Matt, since you presented me this chance to talk.
That sounds fantastic.
They had a laptop a girl gave me and said my hard drive's bad. My hard drive's bad on this laptop. I'm thinking, well, that's an easy fix. I could fix this computer for her. So take it. It's like a nice, pretty white Sony Vaio. It's not bad. It's actually a nice machine. It's got Vista on it, but it was a good machine back in that day. So I'm like, all right, hard drive's bad. So I take it home, plug in the power cord, turn it on. It goes on for about 2 minutes, turns off. I'm like, that's odd. Doesn't seem like a hard drive problem to me. So, because the first thing I did, I actually took SpinRite because the computer powered on and the drive was spinning. I just wanted to run maintenance on the hard drive and see if fix whatever's on there. So I put spin right in. I fired it up, ran for about 2 or 3 minutes, turned off. And I'm like, with my experience, I said, that is not a hard drive problem. Hard drives do not cause machines to just turn off, like power down. They mess up, they blue screen, whatever, but they don't power down machines. So I figured, see, this computer was dropped. It actually was dropped. She thought it was done for. The screen's messed up. Somebody already fixed the power jack on it, but apparently they didn't test it by keeping the computer on longer than 2 minutes. Otherwise, they would have seen this problem. So she paid for a power jack fix. So now the computer powers on, but it just only stays on for 2 minutes. So I figured, okay, this computer was dropped, hit the ground hard, popped the heat sink off of the CPU, and it's just overheating. It's just an overheating problem. That was my estimate, my guess. So I quoted her, I'm like, look, you're going to need a new motherboard on this thing. I'm pretty sure that the stands that hold the heat sink on, after it impacted and hit the ground, those stands just probably popped right off of the motherboard. So it's probably, I was guessing I needed a new motherboard. Anyway, I took the thing apart. Only thing that happened was when it hit the ground, because of the impact of the ground, the fan took such a jolt that it got stuck on its bearing. So the fan wasn't spinning. That was the only problem. So I replaced the fan. Awesome, the thing stays on. I hit up eBay for a fan. It was like $20 for a fan. I know it's kind of expensive, but still, to fix this machine where I thought she previously needed a whole motherboard, hit up on eBay. A couple bucks for a fan. Bought a new screen from DVD Super 999, who's the best screen seller on eBay, in my opinion. And I'm waiting for that to come in. And then she's got basically a new computer and it cost me about $120. So that, for a nice computer to be revived after dropping the heck out of it, not a bad deal. But just wanted to throw it out. That even wasn't what I was really going to talk about, but I'll save that for the second time around. But I'm doing a job. I actually felt good about taking that thing apart. When I quoted her, when I thought the motherboard was bad, I quoted her like $500 to replace the motherboard and screen. I just didn't want to take. I just didn't want to take the thing apart. I'm like, there's no way that this thing's toast. And then one weekend, it was just sitting up on the shelf. I said, all right, I'll take it apart, have some time. And I found that the fan was busted. So I was completely wrong in my diagnosis about needing a new motherboard. So it pays to take things apart to fix them. All right, that was my little story.
Now, how long was this thing on your shelf, Steve?
Like 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not too long.
She wasn't calling every day?
No. It was a friend. I
Okay.
basically told her. She gave me the computer. I told her it was going to cost $500 to fix it because I thought I needed a new motherboard. She's like, "Will you keep it?" I said, "Look, I'll keep it. If I have some free time, I'll open it up and see if I could fix it." So I did, and I could, and I did, and now she wants it back. So
Of course. I had somebody bring me a notebook. I think it was a couple weeks ago. I mean, I get them all the time, but this particular notebook, she says, "I want you to fix it." And then when I asked her what's wrong with it, she goes, "I'm not really sure. It's my kid's computer." She says it doesn't work. Okay. I could tell it's very old. It's a Dell. I don't know what it is. Some Dell. Looked up the service tag, and the thing was like 6 years old.
right.
I thought, oh, God. Okay. It's not even worth opening the computer, but I'll look at it. I open it. Half the keys are missing from the keyboard.
Right.
Screen's cracked. I go to turn it on. It doesn't power on. So I plug in the AC adapter. Turns on. Hey, your battery's dead. And then it turned on, but it was getting errors. So I tested the hard drive. Hard drive failed. So I had to call. I said, "This is a 6-year-old computer. It needs a new screen, a new keyboard, a new hard drive,
New battery.
Plus, I've got to reinstall Windows." I said, "This thing is not worth $30. I gave her a quote, and I think I quoted her around $400 for all of it,
Mm-hmm.
or $500, something around there. She goes, "Well, go ahead and do it." I was like, "Oh, are you serious?"
No.
I said, I gave you this quote, but I really don't think you should do it.
I would have ran to Walmart, bought a $300
Yeah.
compact.
I'm like,
I
why don't you
cleaned it
take
up,
the
look at it.
$500?
What, John?
And buy it. I was like, why don't you just take the $500, call up Dell, and order a Dell?
Yeah, seriously.
Well, she says, I said, "You just replace it." "Well, I can't replace it for $500. I said, "Yes, you can." I sent her at least 4 or 5 links of something she can go buy locally. And of course, this client loves to ask questions. Which I don't mind questions. But in
Yes, you do.
previous Sometimes. If I've already answered it, I do. In the previous email, I said I do recommend you replacing it. Here are some links to ones that are less than what I quoted you to fix this one. And so she replied back saying, do you think I should replace it? Now, don't forget, I just said, I recommend you replace it, and here's some links to go buy some. So how'd you reply back? Yes, I recommend that you replace it. Here are some links where you can buy some that are cheaper.
No, I agree. I mean, people are. I guess they're still of the opinion that laptops cost $1,000 because I've had so many laptops when I had my shop 2 years ago where people. I told them that they need to get it'd be a good idea to get a new one, and they always say, "Oh, I can't pay $1,000. I don't have $1,000 to blow right now." Like there's still people that think that laptops cost about $1,000. I think.
Well, and I think laptops are inching back up in price. You can still find some cheap ones, but I think they are going back up a little bit.
Yeah, they're not coming down. They're not down to rock bottom where you would think they would go, but the build quality certainly is. These things are crap.
Yeah, I think with those netbooks, they came down low, and then now they can price the other ones that aren't netbooks higher. So I've been thinking they've been rising back up again slightly.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I
John,
I haven't really noticed that much of a change in the overall price of laptops. Doesn't seem like to me in my area here.
You know what? They came down hard. Like they came down really low. And then I guess they just couldn't get any lower.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. They couldn't get any cheaper. And so now they say, well, this is a better quality. It's got this, so they charge more. The bottom line was those netbooks, and those things were terrible.
Yeah, I think tablets are gonna. I actually do think tablets are gonna start wiping out the netbooks.
Yeah, I think these things like the iPads, things like that, they're going to be serious competition for these netbooks.
Yeah, I mean the iPads are killing it, and then it's going to take a couple years still, but other companies are going to really start to get their stuff out hot and heavy. And I don't even necessarily agree with it because the iPad is clunky. I mean, unless you find a good way to use it and mount it and have it stand up, I'm much faster on a laptop, even probably a netbook than on an iPad.
I haven't even iPad, and I absolutely love it. The thing that I like is that when you go to do something on it, it just starts up so fast. I mean, we can do our invoicing on it and everything, and it's just you click the button and it's ready to go.
Yeah, I guess. So is that what you use it for, invoicing?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you use it for anything else?
We process credit cards on it.
Really?
Invoicing. Use it for internet connections.
That's cool. I don't know. I use a thing in bed. It's like my bedtime device, and it's just I can never hold it without my arms getting tired. It's like I want to mount it on like a swivel screen or something right in my face. Maybe I want to do it, but that's when I use this thing, and I guess that's not the best application because people love their iPads. They really do. And I tried really hard to like it. My dad loves his. I'm sure my dad uses his iPad more than anybody in like the 100-mile radius of him. But I can't get into it.
I love my iPad as well. It's fantastic.
I feel a little bit lost without mine, to be honest with you.
Really? Jeez. Yeah. What is this world coming to?
If I'm going I might not bring it to the office every day, but if I'm leaving somewhere and I'm not going to my office, I'm going to have that with me.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting.
I use it. I use the Jump application a lot to connect back to my computer, other servers. That's the app I use most for business. I mean, I use it for personal stuff too, but the Jump app for me is the best application on that iPad to connect to other computers.
Really?
We use TeamViewer. I think that's very similar to what Matt uses his for.
Huh. Interesting.
You said TeamViewer?
Yeah, we use TeamViewer on ours to connect back to machines.
Yeah, and I have the TeamViewer app installed on there, which is used for a little bit something different. I'll use that TeamViewer if I need it, and I don't do that necessarily from the iPad, where I need to take over a customer's computer while they're looking at it. A lot of times I'll just use the Jump app to RDP to the server or their machine or whatever. But the remote application, if I'm sitting in my truck in a parking garage and I need to connect to a server real quick to reset a password, it's so easy.
Yeah, and with TeamViewer, it's pretty much the same thing. We have the licensed version of TeamViewer, so on our servers we have it installed on the servers, so that people don't need to like enter a password. They don't need to tell us a code or anything like that. We have all that pre-programmed in all the servers we support.
Right. And we use something similar to Log Me and Rescue, and it has the unattended access that we put on the servers if we need to. Normally we'll use RDP, but some of those we have unattended access. Now that talking about the tablets and the iPad, that brings me to what else I want to talk about tonight, and that's the Chromebooks. Have y'all looked at these Google Chromebooks?
You know, I got an email about Chromebooks 2 days ago, but I haven't had a chance to look into it yet.
Well, if people listen to me, they would probably think I would hate the Google Chromebook and the idea of it. But actually, initially I did, but then I looked into it, and it actually is pretty cool. We'll have to see how it functions, but these are notebooks that just run the Chrome OS. What's the operating system, but basically it's just Chrome OS, the browser. And these things look like they can be very useful for some people. And people that I've talked to who don't like the iPad, I found that their needs are different than that. They don't want the apps, or they don't want, or the sites that they go to use Flash. And that's the complaint I get a lot. I need Flash. These Google Chromebooks, they're lightweight. It says on the site they boot up in 8 seconds. Up to 8 hours battery life. They have 3G built in if you want them. There's security. There's one touch restore because it's basically just an a browser. That with all the web apps that Google is coming out with, there's even FreshBooks, there's games, there's all kinds of stuff you can do right from the web apps. I think for a lot of users, this could be a good thing.
Yeah, I could get into that.
It's got administration for IT. So if a company wanted to deploy these, I can go into the administrative console, and from what I read, I can block or allow certain web apps or certain sites, or set up their home pages, or set up links that they see when they when they log into the device. So it could be pretty interesting. Now, I think from the screenshots that I saw that the management interface goes through Google Apps. So I'm wondering if when they log in, there's got to be a domain that's linked to Google Apps. I have no idea. They haven't really announced that stuff yet, but the screenshots show a Google Apps login. So we'll have to see about that.
I could get into this. You know what I like about this the most? The 12-inch screen is a sweet spot for me.
Yeah, I like that size. My MacBook Pro is 13, the 13-inch, and I think it's a really good size.
Yeah.
I think
it's because these are bigger than netbooks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, and you can run all your apps. I saw FreshBooks, I saw Angry Birds, Google Talk, all kind of different web apps. And what I think you can do on these things, say you lose your Chromebook, you get a new one, you log in, all your stuff is there. I like that too.
Right.
So there's nothing stored on the device. It's all based on almost like a roaming profile, to where you log into this device and all your stuff is there because it's stored on.
I'll tell you
the
problem
cloud.
with it. It's too expensive. How much are these things?
300 or 400 or so.
I guess that's not too bad.
I'll tell you what, with these type of devices, it's always about the quality of the apps. You know, are the apps going to be worth it? You know, because you're limited to what Google is going to provide you with, you know, the apps that you can get from Google.
But it's all browser-based. So, I mean, any browser-based app you could use, right?
Right. Well, I believe so. If it runs in a web browser, it'll run on this. So you could do, if you don't want to use Google Mail app, you could use, I'm pretty sure you can use Outlook Web Access to get back to your mail. So I think this thing, I think it could be pretty good. I didn't think I would like it, but I'm looking forward to getting it. I saw a price somewhere $300 to $400, depending on which model you get. Now, there's going to be a Samsung and an Acer that are coming out I think June 15th,
Yes.
and there'll be more to follow after that.
I'll tell you what. There's no way of telling with these things anymore. I kind of gave up with when I lost out with the iPad. There's no way of telling with these things unless you actually use it. When when the iPad first was announced and it came out, I'm like, I'm gonna love this thing, and I had this idea that I would find a killer app that I would love, that I would not be able to live without, and that's what would make me love my iPad. My problem is I never found that killer app, and I have very limited use of my iPad, like a functionality. I don't use it. I don't have it. I don't need to have it for anything. So to me, I kind of lost out on that. I felt these kind of devices, this new technology, for me, I have to use it to see. There's no way I could look at this ad and go, "Oh, I'm going to love this thing." I'm going to have to use it to really see where it fits into my life. And
Right.
Looking forward to it, but I can't. I'm not going to make any more predictions.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get one when they come out to test with, because
Because you want to.
I think this is great. Yeah, I want to. But I think this is good for somebody who, for some reason, doesn't want the iPad. They think they need something bigger, full screen keyboard, whatever. But if they have a desktop at their office and they just want to bring something that boots up quickly, to check email, to browse while they're on the road, remote access back, or whatever, I think this might be a pretty good thing. I don't have to worry about getting infected, screwing it up. It's easy to restore back from what I've read, a one-touch restore.
Well, what about
Every-
just running a Linux distro on a netbook? Why not? Why is this better?
I can't answer that.
No.
One, because I don't use Linux, so I don't know how it's better. But I can tell you that I think a user might feel more comfortable, and I can't speak for all users, but this is just a browser. Users are used to working in a browser.
Right.
Yeah,
And
I
this,
think
with an 8-second boot up and a long battery, I think that some users might be more comfortable with this.
What do you think, John?
Yeah, I agree with Matt. I think the UI is going to be a little bit more easier for the user to get used to versus a Linux distro. I mean, just think about installing an app in a Linux distro. I mean, what do you got to go through to install an app versus a browser? It's basically you click and install it.
You want to know what you need to go through to install an app? I just installed Linux 11.4. That's where that's what I'm using to show these screenshots. And I'll tell you guys, this thing is sweet. I didn't expect it to be this nice. Let me. How do I get out of Firefox? Oh, leave.
Oh, that's nice, Steve. Thank you.
No, check it out. It's so easy. It's so easy. I didn't see the little X. It's so easy. It has like a dock, like a Mac. Word, Excel, PowerPoint.
Don't say like a Mac. Please don't say like a Mac.
And now I'm comparing it to Windows 2. And then the Ubuntu Software Center. Oh, it's a little bag of groceries, but there's apps in the bag instead of groceries. You click on that, right? If you want a program, you type it in here. I want to install, I don't know, LibreOffice. Boom, it comes up in a list. You click it, you hit install. Well, they're already installed. Here, click it, hit install, and boom, it's in. It's easier than installing stuff than on Windows. I gotta tell you,
that is a much more refined installation process than what I'm used to with Linux.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, this Ubuntu has come a long way. I'm digging it. I want to install this on I'm getting rid of my Google TV probably and installing this on a computer and hooking it up to my TV.
Well, here's the problem with that, though. Just like you said, how do I close this? If I've got, I don't know, Linux, issue one. If I've got to use it on the road, even with Windows, I'll tell you, like, click on the start, where's start? Well, I say whatever's to the bottom left. It could be a Windows logo. It could say start. I don't have that.
Okay, well, I get what you're saying then. So for iPad users, the Chromebooks are nice. For people like you, me, and John, why not just run a Linux distro like this?
Well, that might be for computer users. I mean, for us. But from what I read about on this Google Apps Chromebooks thing, you just went through an install process, which seems pretty easy. But from what I can tell on this Chromebook thing, me as an administrator, I can say install this web app on his Chromebook. The user doesn't have to do anything except open up a tab, and there it is.
I could see it.
That must be done through Google Apps then, that they do that?
I believe so. They didn't really say, but the screenshots I saw for management that they touted as one of their features had a Google Apps screenshot. So I'm guessing it's got to be tied to Google Apps somehow or whatever domain, because it has a login. I'm assuming that login is an email address, and that domain's got to be tied to Google Apps, which could be a downside. But I did set up a Google Apps domain to test with.
Yeah,
because somebody recommended I do that to compare to Exchange, which I don't think it can compare to Exchange. I think it's an alternative for specific instances, I'll say. But anyway,
I would say that it can duplicate the basic functions of Exchange, but not any of the advanced functions.
Right, the basic, right. If they just say, I want email, and personally, I don't like the Gmail interface. I've been using Outlook forever. I'm used to the Outlook interface, so
there.
That's a personal preference. I'm sure some people much prefer the Google Gmail interface. So
I just got used to it.
But I think these Chromebooks could work really well, even in businesses, or even for me. I could have 2 or 3 of them here for my kids and my wife, because all they do is get on the internet. They don't run anything on their computers. It's the browser, and that's it.
I know, but isn't that an interesting thing? It's like you have the functionality of the browser already. And this revolutionary thing is just take everything else out except the browser. It's like nothing is being new is being created. Things are just being taken away, and people are being charged the same amount or more.
It's focused.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think it's a good idea for general users, but it's just amazing.
General users, for specific instances, 8-second boot up from off to on, 8 seconds.
Yeah, that's good too. That is good too.
And so you have less overhead. The next version will be 6.5, maybe. The overhead of running an operating system is gone if you just run in the browser.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure I will get one, so I'll be able to talk about it. But
can you get me one?
My daughters, I'll get one for everybody.
All right, thanks.
In my house. I'll probably get, my daughters need new computers. They're falling apart, which is why I don't get them new ones, because theirs are falling apart. And I tell them that they're falling apart because they don't treat them nicely. So these things, I'm going to definitely, well, I say definitely. I said I was going to get a Zoom, but I didn't do that because those things ended up being pretty bad from what I read.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think this could be good. We'll just have to wait and see.
Good one. Good topic. All right, John. What else you want to talk about tonight? You have anything else?
Well, since you caught me at the last minute, I think that's all that I had.
Do you want to say anything else about the Chromebooks?
No, I think that was it. I mean, I think it's going to be interesting to see what develops out of Chromebook. I think a lot of it is going to do with the apps and the user interface. And pretty much, I really think it's going to hinge on the app, just the available applications. What can we do with the applications that Google is going to provide us?
Now, can you install apps on this, or is it literally all browser-based? Is it going to be all web apps?
Well, they have. Google has a place where you can download the apps for Chrome, for the Chromebooks platform.
So it's not running a browser; it's actually running a separate app.
We might have talked. We might have to ask Matt. I think Matt's probably looked more.
I believe it's running an app in a browser window.
I think that Chrome store they're all browser-based apps. I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Yeah, like the Angry Birds that was just released. That's browser-based. You can actually do that in Internet Explorer 9. That Google free Angry Birds app that was released.
Really? I'm so over Angry Birds. You're still playing that game?
No, I haven't played it lately. I got the new version with the new levels.
Okay.
But I haven't played it.
Okay.
But it's just I believe, and I haven't seen it because I haven't seen a good enough documentation.
Yeah.
I believe it's just a tab inside of Chrome. So if you download this web app, it's just another tab. So when you click it, it just runs in a browser.
You know what this I'm looking at this Google Chrome app store that they have,
Yeah.
and you know, as I'm looking at it, it reminds me a lot of on the Mac OS. They released an app store
Yeah.
on Mac OS, and it reminds me a lot of that.
It does?
Yeah.
What do you mean the way it looks?
In the way that it looks. Yeah, I mean, granted, the Mac version is actually an application that resides on the Mac, but I get a very strong feeling of the App Store from Mac OS X when I'm looking at this.
Right. Do you have a Mac, John? Do you use Mac at all?
Yeah, actually, we use Macs pretty much exclusively, and we run Windows inside of our Macs through virtualization.
Wow, I wasn't even going to go there, but why do you do that?
Keep viruses at a bay, and we do a lot of virus removal. It seems like the Macs just seem to be more stable. I mean, the Mac OS operating system, you know, I use both of them a lot, and the Mac, once you learn Mac OS X, it just gets things done. You don't have to mess with it. It doesn't get viruses as much. I mean, it can get, don't get me wrong, it can get viruses, but there's not to the extent of a Windows machine.
That's interesting that you have a computer repair business and you run Macs in there. You know, it's a really smart thing to do. Actually, I never did.
Yeah.
I never did. Do you guys have a shop? Are you on do you on site repair? What do you do?
We have an office,
Mhm.
and we do, you know, most of our business accounting stuff comes out of there, but most of the work that we do is on-site work because we kind of do like mostly business stuff, so we go on-site a lot.
Interesting. I think that's neat. That's a great idea. Run Macs.
I'm actually on an iMac right now, running Windows in boot camp is what I'm on right now.
Really? Why are you running Windows?
Well, I like Windows 7, but I use certain applications
Gotcha.
that only run in Windows.
Right.
So half the time, most of the time, my MacBook Pro, they're right next to each other on my desk. My MacBook Pro runs Mac OS, but it also has Windows 7 in boot camp. Most of the time that's in the Mac OS, and my iMac is usually in Windows. Because when I work from home, I'm usually working on my iMac, which needs the Windows part.
Gotcha.
We run Windows through Parallel, through an application called Parallels, which basically virtualizes Windows.
Yeah, it's
You
like VMware.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
VMware. But the cool thing is that we can create a snapshot of Windows, and if anything happens to our Windows system, we can revert back to that snapshot
Right.
in like 10.
Yeah, that's a really neat idea running that as your bench machines. I gotta tell you guys though, you gotta try something. Download the latest version of Ubuntu, run it in a VM. Tell me what you think because it's really really good. I mean, even if you like Windows 7, if you like OS 10, run this. It's on par. It really is. I mean, there's nothing clunky about it. It's very intuitive. Every new version that comes out of Ubuntu or Mint, I really like. I think they make great improvements. And, you know, since I put this on this machine tonight, I'm liking it that much better than the last version of Ubuntu. It's cool stuff. So it's something new to try. You guys, I recommend it highly.
Now, do you recommend that to? See, I have a hard time recommending that to customers.
No,
though. I mean, I don't
to
mind
you
myself
guys.
running
To you guys. Not your customers. No.
Okay.
But it's the way I look at it now when I'm using it, I'm like, man, it's almost like, wow, anybody can really use this. But it's just such a bad idea because they're gonna want to run Office on the thing.
Right. Anybody can run it. That's the problem. Is that anybody can do this. Any fool can do this. Well, let's hope so. But
no, it's seriously, any fool can do it, but they're going to try to put Word on the thing. That's just the problem. That's the
or they're
main
going to
problem.
want to load iTunes,
Right.
or they're going to want to do this, and
Right.
you have to explain to them. They're going to go to Walmart and buy some game, and then when they're going to try and install it, they're going to call you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You said it was just like Windows.
Try it for yourselves, though. I think you guys would like it.
Now they can run LibreOffice or OpenOffice on there, right?
Oh yeah, LibreOffice comes built in.
Yeah.
It's funny they don't use OpenOffice anymore because Oracle bought them.
Right.
Well, didn't the people who made OpenOffice, didn't they break off and make LibreOffice? Isn't that?
Yeah,
Is that what I'm thinking of?
I
Okay.
think they did. How does it call it? Forking it. They forked it into LibreOffice.
Okay. Hey, and if you know that I was talking about Angry Birds in the browser, if anybody's interested in IE9, you can go to Chrome Podnutz.angrybirds.com, and you have the full version of Angry Birds.
On IE9, how does IE9 get into that?
Well, it's the Angry Birds released for Chrome,
Yeah.
for the Chrome browser,
Yeah.
or for the Chrome OS,
Yes.
the Angry Birds web app.
Yeah.
But if you go to chrome.angrybirds.com in IE9, it works fine too.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's pretty cool.
And it's a full game.
I have not used IE9. Do you guys use it?
Yes.
John, do you use it?
No, I use Firefox. I mean, I use IE for doing updates and things like that, but I mainly use Firefox.
Yeah. Firefox 4 is pretty nice, actually. Matt, you're using IE9? You like it?
Oh, yeah, I like it. I have it on all my computers that I use anyway. I have Firefox as well, but I use IE9 mainly.
Interesting.
And that's because a lot of the software I use needs Internet Explorer and needs ActiveX controls to run. So I have to use it. But IE9 is nice. I like IE9.
I haven't used it yet. No real desire to. We'll see what happens.
It doesn't run in Ubuntu.
No, I have an iMac, Ubuntu, Windows 7, Windows 7. So it's the whole gamut here. Let's see. We got an email from David. Hey, Steve, I cannot tell you how much I enjoy Podnutz and all you're doing with it. I'm just getting into PC repair and suddenly getting very busy. And like you, I come to this with no formal training. What I like most about Podnutz is the way that it feels like I'm sitting in the shop with a bunch of grizzled vets, and they are spilling knowledge with every sentence. It is much better training than sitting in a classroom. Eventually, I do want to contribute to being on the show, but right now, I'm not nearly competent enough to be comfortable. No problem. One thing I would like to hear a show about is how to set up your test bench. What type of hardware, network, most essential tools and software. You probably have done one of these, or at least have discussed each of these things separately, but a single show that sums up all of these things would be invaluable. Let's see. I will be buying the Tech Site Builder and laptop repair videos in the near future. Again, very appreciative for all that you do. Keep it up. That's from David. Hey, David, thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate the email. Glad you're liking the shows. Your suggestion is a great idea. I should have read this earlier, because I would like to do it on an episode of Podnutz where we kind of go around and talk about our bench machines. Why don't we do it next week? Matt, want to save that email up? Do it next week?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do that. That sounds good. Great suggestion, and we'll cover that next time. This is a voicemail from a person. I say that because it doesn't say their name. So I'm going to turn on my audio here and see if we could hear it. I don't know what's going to happen when I play this. I think it's all set up.
Hey, Steve. Alan Durego, Honolulu, calling. Hey, a little comment about Podnutz 63. About the porn guy. And anyway, I only have one person who does that, but I have another client who does has a grandson that I guess he just installs a lot of games. I can't remember the name of the place that he goes to, but it's not Big Fish. Some other Flash games site or whatever. Anyway, she always calls me monthly saying that he holds the computer up again. Anyway, what I did was I installed a program called Deep Freeze. I can't remember the company who makes it. I'm on the road right now, so I can't look it up. But it was called Deep Freeze, and you have to pay for it. It's a pay program. I think they have a freeware one out there, but I didn't really look into it. Anyway, I installed that, and what it did is it locked down the whole computer. And there's also stall spaces that you can keep other files in. Say the client wants to use the computer and they want to do word processing. They can either put in their own USB drive or they can save it to those stall spaces, which will, you can make changes to those files. But everything else you cannot. I mean, it'll let you make changes, but all she has to do is shut down the computer and restart it, and the computer is fresh. Even if you delete everything, it's pretty amazing that I heard about it from one of the Mac podcasts that I listen to. I listen to a lot of podcasts, by the way. But I enjoy all your podcasts, all your Podnutz podcasts. I really enjoy it. Thanks. Keep up the great work. Bye.
Awesome. Thank you very much for voicemail. I'm glad you're liking the shows, too. Great suggestion, looks like here. Deep freeze. Looks like the company is Phoronix. Absolute system integrity. Phoronix Deep Freeze makes computer configurations indestructible and prevents against unwanted workstation changes, regardless of whether they are accidental or malicious. Deep Freeze is proven to reduce help desk support incidents and allows IT personnel to focus more on strategic IT needs. Ooh, that's definitely what IT personnel need to focus on. Cool. You guys use Deep Freeze at all? Heard of it? Used it? Matt? John?
I don't use it. I have heard of it, and I know that the school that my oldest daughter go to, they use this in the computer lab to make sure that they can revert back to a good state if they need to.
Right.
And I'm looking at the site. It looks like they also have it for Mac as well as Windows.
Oh, interesting. They do.
And pretty good price, $45 for one license.
That ain't bad.
No, it's pretty good. So I do know that they've used it, and I think I talked to him about it when I was there, because we supply them with some computers. We get computers from clients they don't want anymore. We wipe them, reinstall Windows. We donate to the school, and yeah, that's how I saw he had this on there.
How about you, John? You use Deep Freeze at all?
No. I have heard of Deep Freeze, but I have not used it.
Me neither. And then there's also, or there wasn't there like Microsoft Steady State? Isn't that one of them?
Yeah.
Something like
Yeah.
that. But they're not making it anymore or something. I don't know. I don't know.
Most
I just
of the
work.
time we need to do stuff like that. We just do it through system group policy or something like that.
That looks pretty cool. Good suggestion. And
Yeah, I need to remember this because you got this client people who problem clients who continually infect themselves. I'm not sure why they come to work if they're just gonna browse strange sites.
strange
Yeah.
sites. All right. Well, let me make a quick announcement here. Actually, I should have announced it towards the beginning. If you guys want to know how to do what we do here at Podnutz, you want to start your own podcast, you want to do live shows, you want to have a website like Podnutz and promote do podcasting. I'm doing a webinar this next month, June 25th and June 26th. It's going to be monstrous, comprehensive. Basically going to cover everything I do at Podnutz. I'm going to teach you guys how to do it. It's going to start on Saturday, June 25th. It's going to go from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday. And then again on Sunday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's a 2-day thing. It's not I'm not repeating stuff on each day. It's a 2-day thing. It's going to be like 12 hours of pure podcasting knowledge. And you could get more information on it if you go to howtopodcast.biz. There's just a quick sign-up sheet. And once I get the whole order form and everything set up, I will send you more information and exactly what we're going to cover, when to be there, how to do it, and all the stuff. But you basically just log in like you're watching this live. If you're watching this show live, it's going to be a similar thing. You log in live. You watch live. There's going to be a chat room. There's going to be Q&A sessions after each session that we do. So if you are live, you can actually ask questions, and they will be answered. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be probably around $50 is what it's going to cost. But like I said, go to howtopodcast.biz, put your name and email address in there, and then once I get everything all set up and squared away and order form and PayPal buttons and everything, I will send you the information, and we'll go from there. So check it out, and hopefully you guys will want to participate in that and start your own shows. I think it'll be fun. Okay. Matt, anything you would like to say or promote before we end off?
No, just remember, if you want to be added to the pool of guests for this show, email me, matt@podnutz.com.
Or if you haven't done the first step, sign up for Podnutz Daily to be eligible.
That's right. That's right.
Very good. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. Tune in for Matt for Podnutz Pro tomorrow too, by the way, guys. 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Matt and Lalo, they do it up over there.
Yeah, I just want to chime in here. I love that Podnutz Pro show. Matt does a great job on that show.
Awesome.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
You guys want to get into doing a business, even I learned stuff from Matt, man.
Awesome.
Oh,
thanks,
great.
John.
Yeah.
Glad you like it. How about you, John? Anything you want to say, promote, plug, endorse before we end off?
I just want to endorse Podnutz. This is you've built a great thing here, Steve. It gives all of us an opportunity to come together and just drop some knowledge. And I think, computer people are great for that. We kind of like to share our knowledge, and it's a great place to come for that.
Hey, thank you, man. You're doing your part. If you do want to contribute anything, the best way to do it is do what John did. Come on a show. It really contributes a lot. We love having new people come in, expand the community. And at the very least, send an email, a voicemail, go in the Podnutz TeamSpeak room, join the Podnutz forums. There's just so many ways to contribute and give and receive knowledge. It's totally reciprocal. I mean, there's no one-way flows here. We're giving and receiving. And we learn a lot, and it helps us in our business, helps us survive better, and gives us money so we could buy toys. That's basically the bottom line. Okay. Well, what, Matt?
No, I like buying toys.
Me too.
I don't call them toys. I call them testing for customers.
That's exactly what I tell my wife, too.
That's great, guys. I love that. All right, well, that's going to be it for Podnutz for this week. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, watching, downloading, uploading, sideloading, streaming. We'll see you next time.